Hello info person, this is Anton, and don't panic. But astronomers recently discovered a potentially dangerous asteroid that has a slight chance of colliding with planet Earth in 2032, basically 7 years from when I'm making this video. And the reason I'm saying don't panic is because the chance is still pretty low, but at the moment, this asteroid has a highest chance of collision with planet Earth in the next few decades. And as you can see from this list, it's basically number 1 on the list in terms of risk. And so let's talk about this discovery in a little bit more detail and basically find out how likely is this to happen and what's next. Should all of us basically start building bunkers and hide inside of them, or do we still have to go to work and to school tomorrow? But here I guess let's start with the basics. And the basics being how we actually classify these near-Earth objects and how we classify dangerous asteroids. And so in essence, any asteroid with a certain orbit where it basically approaches planet Earth once in a while is usually referred to as a near-Earth object. But some of these objects, especially the ones that are large enough and that also cross Earth's orbit quite a lot, can also be classified as a PHA, potentially hazardous asteroid. Basically any object that has a slight chance to potentially collide with the planet in the next few hundreds of years. And of over 1 million asteroids discovered so far, only just over 2,300 have been classified as a PHA. And so here the number is actually pretty low, and at least 150 of them are actually pretty large, over 1 kilometer in size. And at least 2 of them, Bennu and Ryugu, have been visited by space missions, even with a successful sample retrieval that returned some of the pieces back to Earth. You can learn about both of these missions in some of the videos in the description. But interestingly enough, of these 2,300 objects, only 17 are known as potentially hazardous objects with an actual risk. As in, they do have a slight chance of collision with planet Earth in the next 100 years. This is referred to as the Sentry risk table, and here are some of these objects. And as you can see from this list, only one of these objects has a 10% chance of hitting the planet in 2095. But luckily for us, this object is relatively small, only 7 meters across, so it's not even technically classified as a potentially hazardous asteroid. And that's because to be one, these objects have to also be at least 35 meters across, because anything smaller, though damaging, will not be as destructive, and only bigger objects may potentially cause damage on the ground. For example, the famous Chelyabinsk meteor that was seen in Russia in 2013 was only about 18 meters across, and though it did produce some damage on the ground, it was actually quite minor. In contrast, Tunguska event, which was very destructive, was very likely at least 65 meters across. And so today it's believed that anything over 35 meters will potentially cause a lot of damage. But if we go back to this list, there seem to be only 2 objects that meet the size qualification, and only one of these objects is of interest today. And you can sort of see it right here. It is pretty small, but just after Christmas in 2024, researchers using a telescope in Chile discovered it completely by accident. It's now designated as 2024 YR4, and it's believed to be anywhere from 40 to maybe even 100 meters across. And the only reason we discovered this asteroid is because it actually passed close to Earth at a distance of 800,000 kilometers, or about twice the distance to the Moon, and then picked up by the automatic network of telescopes that actually scans the night skies for early warning signs of potential asteroid impacts. This network is known as ATLAS, Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. It contains a bunch of telescopes around the planet, so you can actually observe the night skies 24/7. And once this asteroid was found, the first thing was to basically determine its orbit. And that's when things got interesting. It does have a somewhat eccentric orbit, which is why it was kind of difficult to predict its orbit at first, but all of the initial calculations essentially suggested that in 2032, it's most likely going to come back once again, but this time does have a chance to maybe collide with the planet. And right now the estimates for its size suggest that it could be even larger than the Tunguska meteoroid, thus maybe causing more damage. And so no, it's not going to cause some kind of an extinction event, but it does have a chance to produce something equivalent to a nuclear explosion. And statistically, objects of this size usually hit our planet every 1,000 years. As a matter of fact, it's believed that something similar was actually responsible for forming the famous meteor crater in Arizona. This is actually a relatively large formation as well, and the explosion that followed this was probably extremely powerful. But luckily for us, the chance of the collision is still pretty low. Right now the odds of collision are approximately 1 in 80, or just over 1%, with a potential impact maybe occurring on December 22nd, 2032. Actually, the calculations here are so accurate that we now have the exact date, the exact probability, and even additional chances in the next 100 years. As you can see here, there are 6 potential impacts, but most of them have a very low chance. And only the one in 2032 has now been placed on what's known as the Torino scale, the scale that's often used to categorize various impacts in terms of their potential danger. Here the scale goes from 0 to 10, and in this case this asteroid received the rating of 3. Defined as a close encounter that requires attention by astronomers, where the chance is just over 1%. And historically, only one other asteroid was on the scale before, the famous Apophis. But as you might have learned from one of the previous videos in the description, new calculations determined that it's unlikely to collide anytime soon, so it now has the rating of 0. And 2024 YR4 is the only asteroid on the list with over 1% chance of collision and large enough to potentially cause damage. But it is actually a really important side note to all of this. This is a preliminary investigation and preliminary calculations based on the asteroid motion moving away from planet Earth. But as this asteroid travels around the Sun, and as we actually get to see it again sometimes in 2028, the recalculations of its orbit might actually reduce the chance of collision to basically 0. This is actually what happened with Apophis. Likewise, previous observations, especially the archives from 2016, might help us determine where this asteroid was as well, thus revealing its orbital parameters with even more accuracy, and thus changing the chance for a collision. In other words, even though right now the chance is not 0, it's quite likely that in the next few months it might drop dramatically, and just like Apophis, will be removed from the Torino scale as well. But assuming that it doesn't get removed, or assuming that the chance of collision increases even more, what's next? Well, here, luckily for us, we actually have a perfect solution. According to modern guidelines, we actually need only 5 to maybe 10 years to prepare for a potential collision in order to basically avoid it completely or to potentially redirect the impactor using modern techniques. This is actually based on some of the recent NASA simulations and exercises conducted in 2021, and specifically from the Planetary Defense Conference. So this might actually surprise you, but there are specific guidelines for how to deal with this already. And so once we know its orbit, and once it's confirmed that the chance of a collision is pretty high, the next step is a discussion with various space agencies on first conducting more reconnaissance and then initiating the step involving something we've done before. Here I'm talking about the famous DART mission. Just like with the DART mission, this will most likely involve a direct impact at a very high velocity. And so here, by launching a satellite moving really fast and smacking it directly into the asteroid, it will cause this asteroid to move away from its path, assuming a new orbit. And as we learned from the DART mission, it will probably turn this asteroid into some kind of a cometary object, as the ejecta from the surface will actually produce its own tail and will even act as a kind of a propellant. And so here, a redirect through impact can actually be extremely effective, and also relatively cheap and not particularly demanding in terms of technology. And something similar has actually been proposed in regards to the Apophis mission, but now that we know that it's not going to collide with Earth, there's really no need for that mission either. And so in some sense, that's basically good news. Even if this is a dangerous asteroid, it will not take much to redirect it, and will actually serve as the first ever attempt to physically move an asteroid from a potential collision course with planet Earth, which would certainly make dinosaurs super jealous. If only they had that technology, right? But before we start planning any missions and before anything else needs to be done, the first step is just more observations, more accurate calculations in regards to its orbit, and an attempt to work out exactly where it's going to pass, or where it might collide if it actually ever happens. As you can see from this image, currently it's believed that it's going to pass somewhere along the equator, with chances of collisions in the Eastern Pacific, somewhere in North and South America, possibly Africa, and maybe South Asia. But again, the chance is super small, just over 1%. And so at least for now, that's basically all we know. Once there are some updates, or once there are additional calculations, we'll come back and discuss this more in some of the future videos. Until then, check out some of the previous videos on similar topics in the description, including that DART mission I mentioned previously. And thank you for watching, subscribe, share this with someone who loves learning about space and sciences, come back tomorrow to learn something else, support this channel on Patreon by joining the channel membership or by buying the Wonderful Person t-shirt you can find in the description. Stay wonderful, I'll see you tomorrow, and as always, bye bye.